I don't think you do that on a normal bike. Find a different route.
We're on our way over to Pancake Island. How awesome is that?
All right, well, we're hiking it then. We're hiking it. It's really fun to be completely surrounded by it, and yet in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody to our next adventure on Now We Adventure. We're starting off today in Winchester, Massachusetts, and we're going to be going through some really cool terrain, the fells, going into Stoneham, Melrose, all sorts of cool stuff that we're going to show you today. We're starting off in a parking lot right near the Winchester Center commuter rail. So you can park there for, I believe, $5 for the day. So that could be a nice way to come in from the city and start your trip. So where are we heading off to next? Just a very short stint through Winchester. That'll take us to the Fells. The Fells is going to be all nature-y and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure what to expect. There weren't a lot of pictures on Google, so hopefully this is going to be pretty valuable to you. Hopefully it's all bikeable and it's not a lot of really hike/climbing trails. But I think it should be a really fun adventure today, so I'm excited. Do it.
All right, so we took a little ride through Winchester, and this was a great little section, probably for walking. You can see we're here on the sidewalk. Again, I usually just ride on the sidewalk for safety because cars can be a little dangerous.
Here's a great place, though, downtown Winchester for going to get a coffee or a little restaurant stop. So if it works into part of your day to do that, that'd be great. Also, you could just take a little picnic by Mill Pond.
And the interesting thing about this ride is it connects up to the Fells, which, as we're going to talk about later, connects up to 5 different towns. So this could be a way for you to see a lot of different Massachusetts cities, all while getting to bike through a very beautiful place.
This was a really steep hill, by the way.
Well, that was kind of a hill there, Jesse.
Yeah, I was looking on Google Maps, and this looked like the most direct route. And it didn't tell me that it was a 30% grade or whatever that is.
And as the UPS guy just told us, we were kind of cheating there.
I disagree. I don't think you do that on a normal bike. Find a different route. My bad. But on the e-bikes, I mean, we made it up.
Yeah.
It was a little sketchy on that cross street where we had to stop because getting started again was very sketchy.
That is why it's nice to have a throttle if you have one on your bike, because then it kind of gives that extra push while you get going.
Yeah. We're going to continue. We're almost all the way to the Fells.
Nice.
So pulling into the Fells here, and I was just really surprised and excited by how smooth and nice the trail was. You can see it's perfectly wide enough for about 2 bike riders across and very little rocks and stuff like that. It was a nice, smooth ride.
And it's just surprising that you were just, 2 blocks ago, you were in a town, and now 2 blocks later, you're in a forest. It's so cool.
So while Jesse gets a drone shot for you, I want to talk about this little causeway. We're on our way over to Pancake Island. How awesome is that? And so hard to believe that we're in Winchester right now. You would think that we're in Vermont or New Hampshire. But no, we're in Winchester, in the Fells, on our way to Pancake Island. And the shots you're seeing right now, the drone shots, are Jesse getting of the island, which should be pretty cool.
I think we have to give a big thank you to our ancestors here. The Fells is called the Middlesex Fells Reservation. It includes 5 towns in Massachusetts. So that includes Malden, Medford, Melrose, Stoneham, and Winchester. And this was formed back in the 1800s. And so if they hadn't done this back in the 1800s, we would not be riding through pristine woodland. We'd be riding between people's houses because this definitely would be just part of these towns residentially.
And the other cool thing is that there aren't that many roads through the Fells either. So, I mean, obviously Route 128 cuts right through it.
Which is unfortunate.
But as we'll see in another episode, there is another side to the Fells that's on the other side of the highway, and you should be able to bike there.
This is 2,500 acres of land right outside Boston, which is kind of incredible.
I think the biggest downside to me is somewhat how hard it is to get to. There aren't that many parking lots for it, which I know sounds really stupid.
It's a blessing and a curse, though, because if they made it really easy with huge parking lots, it would be packed. And so you're getting a very quiet place to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, we're riding through, and, we're riding on a weekday, so I wouldn't expect there to be that many people out, but it was very quiet, very pristine, and I don't know, I had a great time riding through there.
Right, so on Pancake Island, which we didn't do, there is a little trail you can take. So if you want to do that and explore, that would be fun. But we continued on, and what happened to the trail?
So there's a different grades of trail. I don't have a specific, guide.
A Jesse grading system?
A grading system to the trail, but it definitely went from like
smooth to bumpy.
2 thumbs up to maybe, one of those shaky hands, like, eh.
Yeah. You may not be able to see it as easily here, but there's a lot of bigger chunks of rock. And so the fat tire bikes did a really good job, but I can imagine if you didn't have fat tire bikes, you might have to get off and walk it more often.
Right. And it gets worse from here. So be ready for that.
Yeah, as you can see here, we had to, walk over a log, and then we had to get off the bikes entirely and walk it up. So why are we heading up this hill?
We're going to the stone sculpture, as we're just about to talk about.
Don't tell me we're lost.
We're not lost.
Okay.
We just have encountered some unbikeable terrain. To be fair, I think they told us this isn't very bikeable, but we wanted to hit the stone sculpture because this is Now We Adventure.
What's the stone sculpture?
It's a sculpture, and it's made out of stone, believe it or not. I think we're going to have to hike up the rest of the way, and I think we're going to have a nice view of the highway. We'll see.
So I just want to say, if you're on a mountain bike and you're that kind of person, then yes, you can probably handle what we handle.
Maybe.
But fat tire really is the way to go. Also, if you're hiking it, definitely. But no strollers, no scooters, unless you're on like a super
No. I'm going to say just no.
even like a VSET 10 or something.
Not this section.
Okay.
You saw the other part where it was wider.
Yeah.
The gravel, if you can call it gravel. It's like, this size gravel.
Yeah.
If you hit that with something that isn't a fat tire bike, you're just going to bottom out. So, all right, well, we're hiking it then. We're hiking it. Not a bad spot. I feel very adventure-y. I feel like I'm in the middle, but no one else is here kind of feeling, which is very fun. Everyone else feels like a muggle, and I feel like I'm in,
Right, because we're in suburbia of Boston.
They're surrounded by what I would consider to be upper suburbia,
Right.
More built up than what I've called suburbia my whole life. So it's really fun to be completely surrounded by it, and yet in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. It seems like with your GPS, you should be able to find it, Jess.
I know. I don't know. I guess not. Right in between the two is where it was supposed to be. So,
So we kept hiking past, and we moved a little further, and you said that it's somewhere in between the two. So down in the notes, if you guys know this area and you know what we just passed, please, that's the whole beauty of these videos, is you guys know a lot. So please let us know in the community notes down there, restaurants and places to park and things that we missed, because that's how we bring so much more value to these videos.
I think we're gonna find it on the way back.
All right.
It's the only thing I can.
I'm glad you're hopeful. Let's go see.
Oh, look at that!
All right, well, now I know what I'm looking for. It's great that we've got a little marker. Absolutely. I feel like there should be an eyeball one when you get to the... Jesse, I don't see it anywhere. I think it just must have meant this is a general stone sculpture, because I haven't seen anything that looks like a sculpture.
Right.
It would be obvious if you saw something that looked like a sculpture.
So. Yeah.
It's not like you could walk right by it and not see it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Jesse's packing up my sweatshirt because it's mid-October, but this is such a kind of strenuous ride that you're not that... Well, it's such a nice day, too, but we didn't need it. That was a very rocky pass that we just came down.
Extraordinarily rocky. I don't want to go back up that, so we're going to find a different way home.
I feel like that's the beauty of fat tires, is that especially if you've got suspension, some of these bikes have rear suspension as well.
Sure.
Mine is a hardtail, so I got to get off on the pedals a lot, but
yeah.
I don't know, it eats up the rocks just fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of competency in bike riding along with that, but yeah, the flat tires allow you to hit a lot of that where you're actually getting lateral forces on your tires, and I just think that it's harder for those tires to get wedged because they're bigger.
Yeah.
So you don't end up in a situation where you come to a dead stop One key is keep your pedals on the level. Don't have one down low. I do that a lot. For some reason, I ride on one leg and then I hit something. So keep your body a little bit limber, lean back a little bit, and enjoy.
But if that's a section that you don't feel comfortable hitting, plan around it. And take this probably in multiple stints. We're plowing ahead because we're now Let's Adventure, and
you can always get off and walk your bike.
But
this is for nimble ride.
Apparently,
this is fun.
Yeah.
All right, so we parked the bikes because it looks like impossible to ride up this hill, but we're going to Wright's Tower. Jesse's always wanted to see it. I've always wanted to see it because you can see it from the highway.
Yeah.
And it should have a great view of Boston. Oh, don't forget to bring the drone.
Yeah, there you go. Here we got some mountain climbing.
Okay, so there's like two ways to get up to Wright's Tower. We took the walking route because we didn't know any better, and so that took us about 7 minutes of hiking. It's a little precarious. You want to be pretty sure-footed to do it. There is another route. We're not sure if they allow bikes on it, but it is a gentler slope, so you technically could ride a bike on it. I just don't. The signs I saw said no bikes allowed.
Sure. I don't know who's going to yell at you, but sure, if you want to follow the laws, that's what you do. We certainly follow the laws here. We parked our bikes and we walked up.
You could bring a bike lock and lock them up, but honestly, I don't think you need to in this part of the world.
Yeah, it depends on the time and it depends on how you're feeling. But yeah, once we made it up to the tower, it was a beautiful view.
Well, we made it up the hill. Behind the camera is Wright's Tower. You'll see that in a second. But behind me is the Encore. Remember, we started a lot of our trips there over in Everett. And so that's cool. You can see that. In fact, you can see all of Boston behind me. Jesse's throwing up the drone now, so we can get some pretty cool shots. It's really clear today. Over there, you can see the Blue Hills, and everything is just there. Nice to see it.
All right, so you're seeing Wright's Tower, which was kind of the whole goal of this trip, right, was to get there. And this is something we see as Bostonians driving up 128 all the time. And I never thought I would actually get to experience it in person. I didn't even know what it was. Yeah, it was built in 1937 during President Franklin Roosevelt's administration as a WPA project, a Works Progress Administration project. That's when the federal government pumped a lot of money into just building things. So that's when they built it. I'm not exactly sure why, other than to, as a fire tower to make sure that there weren't fires about.
It's nice to have towers in the woods, and this is a very beautiful example of that.
It was named after Elijah Wright, who was a successful businessman at the time, and he was an advocate for the creation of these Middlesex Fells. So it's kind of to honor him for having helped probably go to a lot of meetings and, twist a lot of arms to get the money to build it.
And I think that this drone shot does a really good job of showing the border between the fells and all the towns that surround it. You can really see this border, and that's such a wonderful part about the reservation.
So this episode is going to wrap a little bit weird because it came to a kind of a quick ending. We had a little bit of a misstep where we were trying to get our bikes up a really steep spot. And was it coming down that we had a little bit of a problem?
No, it was going up. One of the bikes decided to conk out. We still haven't fixed it yet. We're going to probably do a video of that on our Now Let's Review channel where we're going to fix the bike. But yeah, basically the electric power conked out. And we had to do a bit of a rescue mission, which we weren't too keen on filming. So we did that. Also, on the way down, I fell off of my bike because it was so rocky.
That's right.
Jesse up there, but he's gone up ahead because there doesn't seem to be a path for us. So he just walked his bike up, but it's really steep. So we're letting him go first, see what he finds.
So I would definitely pick your trails very carefully. And if you start heading down a trail and you don't like it, don't assume that it's going to get better. It's probably going to get worse. And then you're going to be like half a mile in and you're going to continually think like, it's going to get better. And then you're going to start hitting like small boulders as opposed to gravel. Yeah, just turn around, find the nice routes. I think that there are some nicer routes through the fells. It definitely felt a lot more hikey to me. We did see a couple of bikes, but I think that they were mainly just sticking to some nice parts.
So we were on the Skyline route for part of our trip. It's a 6.9 mile ride, and you're
hiking
saying
path.
Yeah, okay. So you're saying that part of that is also pretty tricky for bikes.
Yes, it's great for hiking, not so great for e-biking, but you know what? How else are you going to figure that out unless you try it? And that's why we are called Now We Adventure.